You know, I was talking to a veteran. I said, I'm not going to run the poppy thing anymore because what's the sense? I live in Mississauga. Nobody wears, very few people wear a poppy. Downtown Toronto, forget it, downtown Toronto. Nobody wears a poppy. And I'm not going to. He says, wait a minute. How about running it for the people that buy them? Now, you go to the small cities and, those, the rows on rows, you people love, they come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life, you love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple of bucks for poppies or something like that. These guys pay for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price. Anyhow, I'm going to run it again for you great people and good Canadians that bought a poppy. I'm still going to run it anyhow.
Love you for it.
I wanted to address what happened last night on Hockey Night in Canada. Don Cherry made remarks which were hurtful, discriminatory, which were flat out wrong. We at Sportsnet have apologized. It certainly doesn't stand for what Sportsnet or Rogers represents. We know diversity is the strength of the country. We see it in the travels with our show and with Hockey Night in Canada. So I owe you an apology too. That's the big thing that I want to emphasize. I sat there, did not catch it, did not respond.
Hockey host Don Cherry is facing backlash after appearing to target immigrants in a rant about people not wearing poppies ahead of Remembrance Day. McLean also facing backlash online for not saying anything in response, instead flashing him a quick thumbs up. Several Canadians promptly took to social media to condemn Cherry's comments as racist and call for his firing. Sportsnet, which produces Hockey Night in Canada, has apologized, saying in a statement, Don's discriminatory comments are offensive and they do not represent our values and what we stand for as a network. We have spoken to Don about the severity of this issue and we sincerely apologize for these divisive remarks. Sports writer Shireen Ahmed says Cherry's comments took a personal turn when he said, you people. She adds his narrative that those who served our country were all white is not only historically inaccurate, but an insult to thousands of veterans and their families.
That Don Cherry gets to sit there and opine about how we remember vets is horrible to me. I mean, this is a man that's never served. Had he taken a moment to recognize, the Black Canadian fighters, the Indigenous men that gave their lives, who he describes and defines as a vet, doesn't include everybody.
After Cherry's comments, even the Canadian Armed Forces tweeted a reminder about the important contributions and sacrifices soldiers of color have made to Canada's military. It says they fought to fight for Canada. They fought for the chance to give their lives for Canada. They fought for your right to choose. They are us. Ahmed says Cherry's comments should start a deeper conversation about systems of racism that exist in Canada and in hockey.
Who gets to say what on what platform? And that's one of the biggest things. We can talk about the lack of diversity in hockey media. We can talk about the lack of gender parity at all in terms of commentators. And he doesn't reflect a population that's trying to create space for themselves in hockey. I'm one of them.
The NHL also weighed in, tweeting in part, hockey is at its best when it brings people together. Now, in his comments, Cherry singled out residents in the cities of Mississauga and Toronto, both of which have large immigrant populations. Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie took to Twitter to call Cherry out. She wrote in part to say that you people do not respect Canada or our veterans is despicable. Toronto Mayor John Tory urging Cherry to come to Old City Hall on Remembrance Day to see the thousands of Canadians of all ages, nationalities, faiths and backgrounds who honor veterans.
Don Cherry, the co-host of Coach's Corner, has been fired. We know that we were expecting some kind of response from Sportsnet or from Don Cherry himself, whether it would be an apology, whatever it would be. We heard from Ron McLean on the weekend. We heard from Sportsnet and the NHL, some comments about the offensive remarks that were made, but Sportsnet saying, that's it. We've asked him to step down immediately.